everyone, it's Megan Reeves with Essential Essentials, and today I'm going to be talking about the 5 different techniques you can use to know what essential oil to choose. Okay, so there's a few different ways. So number 1, which is probably really easy and people are most familiar with, is something like the Modern Essentials app. Okay, so you can see that. You can see this reference book, The Essential Life, which I love. So basically what's cool about the app is that it's right there on your phone because I'm not always going to have a book with me. And you can type in any oil, like let's say I want to look up wintergreen, and I can see the properties for wintergreen. I can see all the things that wintergreen is useful for and find out more information about that oil. Or I could look up, let's say that maybe I'm having like occasional soreness. You know, I worked out too hard, so I could go in and I could look up muscle soreness, and then I could find different oils. And what's nice too is that it gives you multiple options. So there will be essential oils in the red, in green, and in yellow, and it'll give you kind of first, second, and third level options because you might not have every single oil. So that's important. So it gives you lots of options. It's easy. You can put something in and get a solution out. If you don't have the app, Modern Essentials is like $6.99 once to download. I think it's totally worth it. There's so much information in there. But if you don't, you can always use Google. A lot of things you can find on Google. So that's the first way. The second way is if you know somebody who has an Itovi Biofeedback Scanner. These are really wonderful, and actually it gives someone a personalized report of what essential oils and nutrition their body is asking for at that time. So it's really awesome. It uses galvanic skin response and energy frequencies, and it basically gives you a report that's emailed or texted within probably 30 seconds for most people. Some people it takes up to a minute depending on what they have going on. But so that's really nice. Or if you're familiar with muscle response testing, then somebody muscle testing you and figuring out which essential oils you need could be very useful. So if you're at an essential oils class or something like that, a lot of times there will be somebody who does know how to do muscle response testing. So that's another way that you can figure it out. Or you can learn how to muscle test yourself and find out if an oil is right for you at any given time. The third way is smell. Simply smelling an oil. Grabbing an oil. This is passion. Oh, this is rose. Grabbing an oil and smelling it and just inhaling the aroma and seeing what that does with your brain chemistry. Like, does it smell good? Are you attracted to it? Certain oils I smell, like the first time I smelled Douglas fir, I like wanted to drink it. It was so, I just couldn't get enough of the scent inside of me. And then there are other oils that you smell and you're like, ooh, maybe not my favorite, right? So pay attention to that. What smells are you drawn to? And even 5 years ago at my first essential oil class, I heard the name of certain oils and I had no idea what they did, but I just knew I needed that oil. Like I was so drawn to clary sage and ended up, and basil is another one that I was just like, oh, I'm just so drawn to that. And basil is really good for adrenal support, and clary sage is great for hormonal balancing, and those were definitely 2 things that I was working with at the time. So it's really interesting. Just pay attention to, you know, what the smell is, you know, looking at the bottles, like which ones you're drawn to. And then number 4, you can also use the emotions book. So this is another guide that I like to use because you can look up like, oh gosh, am I feeling really willful right now? Am I maybe lacking confidence or the ability to communicate? Do I feel like my throat chakra is blocked and maybe there are some things I'm not saying? So then you can look up those things. You can look up based on emotions in the back of the book, which is really cool. And then every oil, like physically, how every oil has different properties and, chemical constituents like, copaiba with beta-carotene, something like that, where you can find out, okay, what does that essential oil do? What is the chemical structure of it? And what do those things help support inside my body? Well, every oil not only has physical properties, but it also has emotional and spiritual properties. So that's what's really nice because you can look up, like, for example, I just opened up to kumquat oil, which I love saying that word, and it's the oil of authentic presence. So if you feel like maybe you're struggling with, a facade of being happy, always having to put on the happy face, or you're hiding your authentic feelings, or you're feeling repressed inside or passive aggressive, or you feel like maybe you're just showing up a little superficially around the people that you love and care about or in life, this would be a great oil to use, and then it gives you the positive emotions. So authentic, real, honest, sincere, unpretentious, and aligned. And then it'll give you suggestions of companion oils and how to use the oil. So emotions is a big way that I also decide, okay, what essential oils are right. Lastly, intuition. And this kind of goes with the smell one, but just intuitively, what oils are you drawn to? What feels like the right thing to use? And as long as you're using, I also want to give you some peace of mind, because this is what I'll wrap up with. You're really not going to do anything negative to your body no matter what oil you choose, as long as two things. One, it's a top quality essential oil. So that's why I only use doTERRA, because I know about their testing, their sourcing, how the plants are grown, everything about them. I'm very confident in using these essential oils as an aromatherapist. Number two, as long as you've got top quality. Number two, as long as you're using essential oils safely. So if you're diluting for sensitive skin and you're using them aromatically and you're only taking essential oils internally in a responsible way, so you need to do your research and find out about that. But as long as you're using carrier oil to dilute the oils, which is a really good way for it to absorb through your skin anyway. I always use carrier oils for myself personally. And using oils responsibly, you're never going to choose an oil that's bad for you, right? So in those ways of just safety precautions, pretty much no matter what oil you choose, as long as you're a healthy person and there aren't certain oils you shouldn't be using, then you can be open. And even if you choose one that's not the perfect thing for what you're focused on, you can always use another one, or know that you've supported your body in some way, even if it wasn't the exact right oil. So those are the 5 ways that I decide, and I teach my clients to decide what essential oils to use. And if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. If you have questions or things that you want to hear about, I would love in the comments below if you let me know what other videos you'd like to see. I'm happy to do those, and I will talk to you soon.